All right. Hi. Hello. To anyone watching this in the hindsight of the future, you're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community in the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games. Check them out, gauntlet-rpg.com. They do lots of things like blogs and forums and a monthly zine full of supplements to original games itself, podcasts, and the Hangouts calendar through which this game was arranged. This is part one of a three-part series looking into Heart, the City Beneath. This is an in-development dungeon crawling game by Grant Howitt and Christopher Taylor, more famously known for those who wrote Spire, which is that one was about drow revolutionaries trying to take down an Alfear-dominated society. This one is about going deep underneath that city into a place called the Heart, which is a wound on the skin of reality. Weird stuff in there. So you've got like weird communities, weird places. It's a blurry, indistinct place for which, lots of people go there for lots of reasons. Enlightenment, treasure, the call of adventure, looking for repentance, or maybe you're being forced for it for reasons, lots of different things. And yeah, things in the heart get weird, and we're gonna like test out all that weirdness. But before we do that, let's kind of introduce each other to each other. There's some folks I played before, there's some folks I haven't played with, and that's probably true for everyone. So yeah, let's just introduce ourselves. Not the characters, but just the players. So hi, I'm Leandro. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm nervous as heck, but I get to roll some nice dice, so I'm excited at least for that. I'm gonna just go by the order of what I see on my screen here, which is alphabetical, except alphabetical for me anyway. So let's start with Gabriel. Introduce yourself and pronouns, and I don't know, a cool thing you want to shout out. You don't have to, but that's cool as well.
Okay. I'm Gabriel. I use he/him pronouns. Very new to the Gauntlet, which has been really cool. I've been running mostly 5th edition D&D for my friends for about a year or two. Mostly GMing rather than playing, so it's great to be a player too. But I've been getting really into a lot of these like Powered by the Apocalypse, kind of fiction, narrative type of games. Getting really into Spire. Just love the theme of that world. So excited to be playing Heart. That's it.
Cool. Wow, we're very excited to have you, Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Do that whole Aladdin, a whole new world spiel as if one of these games, hopefully. Up next, Patrick, introduce yourself and cool thing you want to shout out, etc., etc.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I use he/him pronouns. I've been playing with Gauntlet for a couple of years, and I don't know anything at all about Spire, but I'm not nervous at all because I do know Leandro, and Leandro's awesome, and so this is going to be awesome.
You've never been in a game I ran. How could you know?
So awesome.
All right, okay, I'll move on from that. Sabine, would you introduce yourself, your pronouns, anything cool you want to shout out?
Sure. My name is Sabine. I use any pronouns and cool things that I want to shout out. Well, I think maybe Patrick has seen one of the videos you make of these other games you run. So maybe he knows because of this, and I know because I've played with you, and I kind of think you're awesome too. So, yeah. I also don't know anything about the game, really. I just looked over the rules and cobble together something that might be a character. So, yeah.
This was not meant to be a platform for me all to feed my ego. I'm gonna have to rethink this. And last but not least, someone who I've not played before, so there's no chance that they're gonna try and feed my ego. Steven, would you kindly introduce yourself?
Now you really are just giving me the challenge, because I will following the pattern say I have never met you, I know nothing about you, but I will just compliment you and declare that you're awesome. And I'm Steven, he/him. I've relatively new to the Gauntlet. I've been around for a few months now. I'm actually GMing a game of Spire. But this is my first time playing this system as a player.
Fab. Thanks very much, Steven. not gonna comment on everything else. I'm just gonna move on. All right. So before we like get into the game proper and like kind of like get to know these characters, let's talk about kind of like the safety stuff we have. I was trying to make sure we have the conversation right at the start. Remind folks, we have the lines and veils tab in our character keeper. For those who don't know, lines are elements that won't be crossed, as in it's just not gonna show up in fiction at all. It's just it's not gonna be there. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna like concentrate on it. We'll fast forward over them, so to speak. Like they can happen in fiction, but it can happen off screen, or we'll just not linger on them. And finally, we're using the X card for this series. Basically, if we do roll into a scene that folks find an element that's uncomfortable, and any element's fine, you don't have to explain why it is that you feel uncomfortable about this. You can say you want to X card that either on the screen or on the chat or on the roll for your party roller that we have. I'm gonna ask some questions on what element's being X carded, but no one gets to question if the card is played. It's played, we'll roll back, we'll try something else. And finally, we have an open door policy. Basically, what that means is that for whatever reason, if folks need to step away from the table, whether there's an emergency you need to address, or you're more tired than you thought, you need a breather, or you do what I do and drink nearly half your water before we even get to the game itself, and you need to like leave the table for various reasons, even like 5 minutes or so, anyone can call in the break. We'll pause the game and we'll try to accommodate y'all. So yeah, so we've got varying knowledge of Spire. I think Spire is kind of like, it's one of those games where people know that it's a big, broad setting and it's a bit tough to like get new players in. Well, don't worry about that, because Heart is all about just being weird. It is kind of like going into this place, and it's a dungeon crawler to an extent, but it's about coming across like weird, like different kinds of settings and whatnot. Like actually, I shouldn't spoil. There might be things that could show up. But just example, maybe you will find an ant hive full of like this intelligent ants that are puppeteering these like robots or something like that. Or there is like this cave that has this giant's eye that if you look at the eye, you'll be cursed for whatever reason. It's that sort of weird. And the further you go down, the weirder it gets. And yeah, your characters have been contracted to go down. I should say right now that we're using the playtest adventure that's in the playtest. This is still like 1.1, so we're just gonna use that. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do is just to introduce each character. I'm gonna like set the scene of where like your first landmark is. So landmarks are basically like definite points in the heart where you know where you are. And then to move from one landmark to another, well, things get weird and things might happen. I have to roll some dice and things will happen to y'all. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna like hard frame like the opening landmark where y'all at, and then you give me a description of like what your character looks as we like cut to each person. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to, even if I'm getting like melodramatic in my description, feel free to cut me off if you have a question. It's perfectly fine. I've opened myself up to that. Okay, so you've left Spire. You've left the hurdy-gurdy, the hustle and bustle of the slums down below Red Row with all its noise and energy, Derelictus with all its slums and torpor, and you're going deep down the heart. And the first landmark you kind of reach is this. It's this big luminescent blue cave, and I think, and it's a large, like almost cylindrical cavern. And the reason why it's cylindrical is because half of it has been carved into a cylinder. And I think you're coming down from like rickety steps because you went into this place through like an abandoned subway station. Because in Spire there's an abandoned subway station. We'll get to that in a minute. But you come down these steps, and you enter this blue cave. There is half the cave is like carved in a cylinder, as if like a tunnel, and the other half is going out into what looks like, a dark wilderness with just like this soft blue lighting. And in the middle of this cave is this big, impossible train. This train made of gold and piping, which just kind of squats there, humming with this energy. So I'm gonna go left to right on character keeper, get y'all to like tell me what the camera sees when you see each character, and then we'll get you to introduce your character, and you'll tell me about their name and their beats, why they're here, which is their calling, and how they managed to survive, which is their class. So we'll start with Gabriel. So tell us about who you brought down here to the heart.
So Maeglin is a junk mage. I'm thinking that it's been a long time since their former life, as far as what they did above in the city. They progressively kind of wandered down into hidden places looking for secrets, gathering fragments of any sort of magical items or things that can be destroyed or put into the spells that they do. So it looks a lot like a homeless person with maybe multiple jackets on with all kind of pockets and hidden places in their sleeves, just messy, maybe partially dreaded hair, just kind of hard to see the person under all the layers. And the part of what's kept them alive is the good luck charms. I think I picked something, and that's almost like an assortment of jewelry that's under some of the clothes, and everything's just sort of tacked onto it. So there might be like a lucky rabbit's foot or a piece of bone here or a piece of some kind of religious iconography or jewelry, and each piece is kind of wired or stitched onto there to this big, almost like mobile of weird magical fragments that somehow actually works just enough to stay alive and avoid danger. So they're in search of they're called by the song of the heart. So they're just going down where they hear that, whatever that means, further and further down.
Nice. I realized I should have looked at my notes and I messed up my spiel, and I should have told you why you're all down here, because there is a communal job. But we'll get to that after we introduce each characters, because we're in flow. See, there we go. Off broadcast, I gave them all my litany of excuses. Hopefully those are buttressing my inevitable failures, of which this is one. But let's get to the next character first. Yeah, Patrick, tell us about who comes up next.
So I'm playing Serafine Graham, who she's a witch class with the Enlightenment calling. I have a picture on the character keeper. It's not exactly as I imagined her, but the details on it were too perfect. The sort of like glowing magical blood infection, the deep red eyes, the gnarled staff, and the connection to animals. But luckily, being a witch, this isn't really her true form. So we'll get to what her true form is at some point later on. But what she presents is very appealing and young. Layers of dress with like different fabrics and beadwork sewn with like charms made out of animal bones and skulls and bits draped from her. Lots of hair tied in with like leaves and twigs and strands and little bones as well. Let's see, anything particularly other? Yeah, she doesn't actually have an animal with her right now, but I think as she steps onto the platform, there's sort of glowing eyes in the shadow of some beast retreating back into the depths of the heart.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So that's our witch. Hopefully we don't see their true form. Who knows what will happen though. And yeah, next character. Sabine, who comes up behind Serafine.
Yes, Rhymes. I am going to play Cauldron Garland. Uses he, him pronouns, probably. It's kind of hard to see his form because he wears this large red cloth shawl thingy. Also, he wears a mask that conceals his features. he is a penitent. He's a Vermisian knight, and I believe that these knights are kind of like train conductors and knights melded into one thing, which I actually love because I like trains. And and he doesn't wear an armor or anything. He wear his arms are bare. You can see it in the picture, but I'm imagining it like that. And he has tattoos inked into his skin on his arms, and these are tattoos from or symbols from 12 religions, forgotten religions, banished religions. I have to look that up. Different religions inked into my skin, and they protect me from whatever echo is. I imagine it's something bad. They are sorry, I'm getting confused with my pronouns now. He is a penitent, which means that he has committed some heinous crime. I don't know what that was, but maybe he doesn't really remember it anyway. Just knows it was bad and terrible, and he did it, and he deserves everything that gets thrown his way.
Glad you've made a character that is like, well, they can only end one way. And yeah, you're right in that. Yeah, the Vermisian would need like knights for train conductors since it's a failed subway project that kind of skirts around the reality of Spire. It's trans-dimensional, interdimensional. Then it got connected to the heart, and it got weird. And last but not the least, Stephen, who rounds up our motley crew for today?
Yeah, Calixte follows up behind, grumbling about how she's escorting a group of crazies and amateurs through the heart. She is the Force, so she's not really here willingly. But she is. I'm playing Calixte Abelard. She is former killer for hire, former bartender, current deputy ? For a high elf judge in Up City. She's wearing a wide brim hat, probably too wide, that's sagging a little under the moisture that drips down from the cavern ceiling. And she's kind of wearing a long trench coat that falls down to her ankles, and there's kind of poking out under it. I'm suddenly forgetting, what do you call the thing that holds the gun?
The holster.
Yeah, a holster for her gun and for her pistol, and big like a big nasty looking knife cinched around her waist.
Cool.
And I'm playing the Hound.
Nice. Should I invoke TV tropes in this way? Nah, I shouldn't. Basically, the normal class, the one that's not the weirdos. Just out of character. Can you all hear music coming from where I am? Cool. Okay, because someone just started playing a lot of what sounds like 60s doo-wop downstairs. Christ on a bike. Okay, so yeah, there's like a moment where you're all standing in front of you at this like gigantic like train engine, and again, made of just golden pipes, and I think, yeah, I probably should have mentioned at the start. Yeah, why are you all down here? You're here on a job. You're here on a mission. It's a simple enough job, I think. You all were given this job individually, because actually, I'll let our witch define it, because an order of witches has contracted you for this job. How does the witches of Hallow contact delvers or adventurers, Serafine?
I think I'll lean into what I have. They send beasts. They send animals who can like weirdly croak out one message and then can't really talk after that. Run away. Be animals.
Because they explode into blood, presumably.
Potentially.
That must be nice. This must be like also kind of regular-ish because no no one bats an eye. It's like yeah, that's a job. All right, maybe like even for
Gonna go out on it as soon as I get all this blood off me.
yeah, yeah. Maybe like yeah, it's a message. Maybe it's like maybe it's a message tailored to each person. So the job's easy enough. Down in the second tier of heart is the red market, where anything and everything could be sold and bought, apparently. And you're off there to buy a poem. Nice poem. It's a nice poem about rebellion and conquest. It's a simple job. Nothing bad could happen. Meanwhile, I'm gonna roll some dice to see what the bad thing will be. Oh, that's bad. But we won't get there till later. But
We were explicitly promised nothing bad.
well, I don't know. I've been broadcasting for nearly half an hour. I don't know what I said. Kidding.
That is in the eye of the beholder anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, there's the four of you standing there in this station, and yeah, since you're the Vermisian Knight, actually, get my names right. Cauldron. Oh, that's Cauldron Garland. What a name. Yeah, tell me what this train looks like. Because remember, the subway never really worked. So this train has just been squatting there.
It's the engine. It's the train's engine. There are two wagons behind the engine, but the engine is the thing that catches the eye because it's so large and golden, apparently, and gives off a weird kind of gleam. It seems to be working, at least, or doing something. Maybe not exactly what it was meant to do when it was created, but the pipes are rattling and some cogwheels are turning wherever they are doing that, because maybe it's just decoration. The wagons behind them are the derelict. They were supposed to be probably luxury wagons. You can still see that they have the windows had curtains on them, but maybe they are just spider webs, or maybe both, because I remember dark elves liked spider webs anyway. So
Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're standing on the platform, kind of like on the left side where the cylinder, where the cylindrical wall is kind of like carved. It's like it's like the tube. I say this as if everyone has been to London. And yeah, next to this the station. You can see the station, the train engine, and you can see that the cave kind of extends behind the station, where you can see like the soft dappled blue light. I think this is also kind of like the first time the four of you have had a chance to like talk to each other. Probably.
I have a question. Can this thing run? And if it can run, can it take us down to the second tier or wherever we're meant to go, to the red market?
It's facing the wrong way. It's facing towards y'all.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Trains go both directions. They can push and pull.
You can suggest that to the group.
Yeah, then I will tell them that trains can push as well as pull, and we might try taking this vehicle.
Don't you think maybe it belongs to someone?
It belongs to my order.
Oh, so I suppose. Well, I never actually followed one of your order. I usually just ignore the trains, but if you can make it run, that would be marvelous.
Well, we should see. I mean, I have. I'm not going to say I have my oyster here, but I want
If you can make it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you can make it run without killing us, that would be even better.
If you could offer any services with the implicit agreement that you not kill us in the process, that would be best, honestly.
I did not I didn't plan on killing all of you. I mean, we are going down there to get a poem and not to kill each other. You are a witch. Why do you need so many people to get a poem anyway?
I'm honestly not sure why anyone needs 4 people to get a poem. It must be quite heavy.
Some of those
Maybe
scrolls can be quite large and heavy if it's a long poem.
maybe there are other people after the poem. If it's a good one.
Sorry, making faces over here.
Yeah, you said it was a revolution, a poem of revolution, right?
Yes, a poem of rebellion and conquest.
Hmm. Now, conquest is something that the people aspire like quite a lot. Revolution, though, that probably has some danger associated with it.
As the heart, as I understand everything, has more than enough danger associated with it.
I'm not really talking about the kind of danger that gnaws your leg off. I'm talking about the kind of danger that sends assassins to murder you in the night.
I do not know what lies between here and there and the way back, but the Covens are wise. They've sent what is needed. So, if it takes the 4 of us to get this poem, in some way it will take the 4 of us to get this poem.
Well, if that isn't ominous. Let's see if I can get this train to run in the direction we need it to go. I'll go talk to it.
I'm just going to sit back here in the tunnel. I don't really trust climbing inside something that might just trap me. So I will just watch and see what happens from a distance, if you don't mind.
I do not. Seems a sensible precaution anyway. They can be a bit temperamental.
So you're going into this train, and is anyone joining Cauldron?
I mean, so you said that, was this being used as an actual marketplace? Like there are people inside it?
Oh, the train?
Yeah.
You can't tell from outside, but you can feel like there's some energy kind of coursing through it.
If it was people, I might join you, but energy is coursing through it. That's the kind of thing that got half my platoon killed. I'll let our resident train speaker get himself killed, and then we can go in after.
If there's potential of strange energies, then Serafine will definitely follow behind you.
Okay, so yeah, oh, tell me actually, since you're the Vermisian Knight, what entrance do you take? Like, you go into the engine, not the engine itself, but like the.
No, I get up to the conductor's quarters. I mean, I don't know the English words for lots of these things, but you know, there is usually on old steam trains, at least, there is this room where the conductor stands and has lots of levers and buttons to push, and also there is the oven, or what is this thing called on a train where you put the coals in?
Furnace.
Furnace, right? There's the furnace.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so the two of you kind of go, creeping into the conductor's quarters, and I think outside, the moment they come in, the lights kind of flicker a bit. The other two outside notice that, hopefully, and you creep in, and yeah, you go inside these conductor's quarters, and it's lit with that same blue energy, and there, it looks tidy, it looks clean, except you see there's a hunched figure kind of like shoveling something into the furnace. They're wearing like a tattered black cloak, so you can't see it. They look quite shapeless as they're shoveling it into something into the furnace. What do you do?
I greet him, I will say. Greetings, brother. I am Cauldron Garland. of the Vermisian Knights, and I request passage.
They stop. They're shoveling, and you can see that they're actually not been shoveling anything. They've just been scraping a shovel on the floor. And they turn, and you can see they have a mask, kind of same as yours, but it's like made out of like different bits of other masks, kind of like very like haphazardly glued together. And so there's like, there's crushed fake jewels on the cheek, leading into like a porcelain like mask. And then you can see like what looks like steampunk goggles, and other than it's like more stuff wheeled onto it. And he looks at the two of you and says, "Brother? There's no brothers to be found here."
Well, forgive me then, sibling?
There's no family to be found here.
So
Knight.
do you not belong to the Order of the Vermisian Knights? And if you do not, what are you doing here?
This is no one's domain, this but mine. I have claimed this. I have lived here. This is mine. This is what I have. And this gangly person kind of like turns to you all, and they're very stooped, and they kind of point the shovel at you all, which has been sharp. It has been sharpened because they've been scraping the heck out. Well, actually, no, that would be the opposite. It looks blunt as heck, but they're kind of waving it. They're waving it, and they're rasping. What do you do?
I'm looking at. Sorry, I have to look up the name. At Serafine. To see if she wants to do anything. Otherwise, I will continue talking.
No, she's sort of like, this is your squatter to eject. I'll help if it gets nasty.
Well, then I turn back to him and say, well, so you are a squatter then. We do not normally tolerate these on our trains, but seeing that you have kept this reasonably clean, you thought of becoming a train conductor? I mean, this is a train. It is supposed to move.
Are you trying to like recruit them?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here. Okay. We're gonna see how things roll in this game. So, yeah, it's the same kind of basic mechanic from Spire. So what we're gonna do is, well, I find a place in the PDF just so I'm sure that's how it works. Like I've run Spire before, but you never know. You can only don't harm in going through it. So you're gonna start with 1d10 for luck. If you have the skill you need, you get another d10. I doubt you're trying to kill or endure here, so no, you do not have the skill for this. If you have the domain you need, you get another d10. You are definitely in technology.
Yes.
Absolutely. This is your train. This is your shtick. So yeah, so we've got 2 d10s. You don't have anything that might get you mastery, I don't think. And I think this difficulty is going to be challenging, which is the default. So basically that means that it will roll as we roll. When the difficulty goes up, I get rid of dice that you rolled. But for now, this is just challenging. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I roll my dice. Let's see how they do. Oh, okay. I've got 2 10s.
Oh.
Sorry,
Right.
Leandro.
No, sorry. For those who don't know, this has been happening a lot. The stuff I've run, the dice rollers have been disgustingly nice. So sorry for anyone who take Fallout as a beat. That's never going to happen so long as you play in my games, because everyone just rolls well. Ugh. So, okay, all right. All joking aside, yeah, this is a critical success. Well, 10 is a critical success. 2 10s is just ridiculous. It'll add stuff you're inflicting stress, but you're not. Well, you kind of are. And I think okay, here's gonna happen. They're gonna drop the shovel, and they're gonna scramble kind of like on their knees towards your feet, Cauldron, and start trying to kiss it through their mask. And they say like, they told me I wasn't worthy, but I knew I was. All I had to do was find the train and keep it safe and keep it secure for you, for the Vermisian. You're one of you're yeah.
Well, stand up, train conductor, and tell me your name.
My name is. Oh, shit, I should have pulled up my name generator. I did not plan this. Okay. My name is Avenue. Good night. I knew I was destined to traverse the world with that name. I knew it. And yes, you're gonna take him as a bond. I'll figure out the resistance die later, but yeah, write down. Yeah, his name is Avenue. Or their name is Avenue. I decided to use they them pronouns. Yeah, their name is Avenue. You've enlisted them. Outside the two of you, you could hear someone kowtowing to the knights, to the Vermisian. You hear someone like or whatever, but the lights are still kind of dim, and they almost kind of start flickering, and then they start flickering like in a pattern, and then they start flickering away towards a direction, deep inside the cave. And
Like the lights along the tunnel, or
yeah,
along the train.
it's like on top of the train, and then it goes right. Like there's a place at the cave where like, okay, so there's the train tracks, and there's like another path, basically, and that those flickering lights lead to the other path. Like that's not where the train goes.
Hmm.
Just look at John's moves. Okay. Back inside the train, Avenue is like, you wish to move this train? You wish to traverse?
Yes, we do. We need to get to the red market, or as close to it as possible.
I wish to take you as far as you can go to prove your might, but this train needs power. It has lost bits of its power. It has lost its connection to the heart, to the strangeness, to the blood. We need blood to power the train, good sir.
Yes, of course we do. Okay, let me have a moment here with my fellow travelers. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, or maybe don't do anything at all. That's probably a better idea. And then I'll go over to the witch, to Serafine, and say, well, this thing apparently needs something to run on. I have no idea what you can do, but you are a witch, so maybe you have mystical means, or do I just have to bleed into the machine?
I mean, would that it were so simple to just open up your veins and bleed you into the machine, but it's probably a bit more complicated than that. The ancient, need to look at it and keep an eye on this one. You're lucky that its insanity leans towards you, but you're anything from what's stable.
Who among us is really stable?
Good point. Let's crack this thing open and see what it burns on.
Okay, I think as you kind of crack this open, I'm gonna cut back to the outside because the lights flickered down the path are flickering back to the train, and the two of you, who's outside, you hear whooping. You hear like the sounds of like yelling, and the pitter, footsteps, lots of footsteps, kind of headed your way, and I think you hear a gun discharging as well. to the two of you.
I will look right away to Calixte because she has the gun and seems to. Have you been down here before?
In my youth, when I had less when I accomplished my trade in a less legal manner.
I'm just gonna duck behind you a little bit and kind of edge my way into the train car, and I
Yeah,
think we
the
let the others know.
train does look like it's going to be a bit more, does look a bit more inviting now that things have developed. And I'm actually going to clamber on top of the train car and draw my pistol to ready myself.
Nice. That's a fab image. All right, so should mention that like usually at the hour I like to take a break, so we'll take like a quick 5-minute break. Folks are okay with that? Cool.
Okay.
Cool. See you in 5.
Grows like ever more uncannily close uh to my character.
That was muted there. All right, so let's recap where everyone is. So Serafine and Cauldron are in the train. They have made friends with a dude. They're about to try and get this train going. Meanwhile, outside, Maeglin, you're taking cover as Calixte has jumped out of the train, and yeah, I think Calixte, you're facing towards the path, kind of like this cave path out. Out into the darkness, not where the train goes. And yeah, you can see the discharge of like gunfire and a whooping and a hollering, so to speak. And I think what out of the darkness is just people. There's these four figures, and they're all kind of clad in like kind of ill-fitting wear. They're just trying to make them look badass, but their ideas of badassery is a bit much. Some of them have like chests bound tight with bandages. They've got braces holding up their trousers. It's all very higgledy-piggledy. It's very tattered. Some of them have like one of them has like this scarf, and I think one of them actually he's got a chest plate on, and actually no, not a chest plate. It's a piece of armor, but it's a piece of armor from the Hounds. What piece of armor is it?
It's kind of it's kind of what's called in the Hounds a sort of trench shield. We sort of use them for setting up in the narrow confines when we were sent down into the heart. It's kind of like basically it takes like a massive guy to like carry it. It's a massive shield that you can kind of slam down into the ground to form like a makeshift embarkment.
Not one for make it easier for y'all. Okay, all right, okay, cool. So
I'm
yeah,
not gonna make it easier. I don't know what you're talking about.
fair enough. You could have said, "Oh, if all hounds carry a pocket knife." They don't. They don't. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the first thing you see as well when it emerges from the darkness. Yeah, there's mahusive trench shield. That's not a word. And I think most hounds. Can it be carried by one person? It doesn't sound like it can.
I mean, for most people, they can't. One person can't carry it, which is why usually they're not like worn by everyone. Usually, it's like the biggest person in a squad will carry it.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. These folks aren't big. There's two of them are kind of
Okay,
yeah.
okay. They are all equipped. I thought you were saying one of them had it.
Oh, okay. Well, this group has it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take it. Yeah, but yeah, these four of them they're shooting, and then they see you standing on the on the Vermisian train car, and I think those inside the train car can hear as well the commotion outside, and you hear this bloke. Yeah, he is definitely a bloke. Just go, aye, 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 aye. It looks like our friend Avenue's working his bait once more. We've got ourselves a hound here, boys. And the boys, the boys, they are just the boys. Gonna go, hey, hey, hey. And this guy steps out. He is clearly a drow figure. He's wearing half a mask. The mask is like cracked. It's like blue vermilion. He's got a hood up, and he's holding this. He's holding this like heavy looking archaic pistol. It's a heavy bore. It'll mess you up if it hits you, and he's kind of waving it around, and he says, "It will be chivalrous, and we'll give you a chance to get on your knees, and we'll relieve you of all your worldly possessions. We don't want to have to like hurt you, It's a waste of resources." But if it's a fight you're Jonesian for, well, we'll give you what for.
We can all hear that, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I click my pistol and point it straight at him and say, "Now I would have asked for you to lay down on your knees as well, but you really aren't my type."
I think the boys the boys go ooh, 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 and they're tapping the shield. God, they're the worst. They're they're making tapping noise to the shield. Yeah, everyone can hear that. And the guy's kind of like, all right, I'm not the fairest sight myself, but you didn't have to aim that low, ma'am.
I kind of look down at his crotch and say, "Believe me, I am aiming that low."
I wonder what do you do? Are you trying to goad him into doing it? Or are you just we're just exchanging banter at the moment? What do you want to do? What are you planning to do? That should be the question I should ask. Steven, if you're saying anything, we can't hear
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. I said, yeah, I guess, I was honestly just trading barbs, but yes, I could see how I'm probably goading him to do something. I guess I'm probably trying to goad him and get him to expose himself from, like, the rest of his crew, because I want to try to, take him out or neutralize him, and hopefully the rest should crumble if their boss is, out of the way.
Okay, cool. I think you know what. That was a nice enough insult that he probably does that. He looks so cocky in his shirt, but he's stepping away. He's stepping away from the shield, from his three compadres, and he's gonna like he's adjusting his lapel. Oh, he doesn't have a lapel. He has a cloak, but he's adjusting as if he had lapels on, and and he's waving the gun. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, us here in the Harn, we all love a kidder. You got a fine mouth over there, ma'am." But he's definitely away from the group.
Yeah, I say, and I can tell you I got one thing more fine than my mouth, and then I shoot him in the head.
All right. Okay. Let's do this roll.
And
okay. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just trying to find where I put that window now. Dang it. I'm just gonna reopen the roll for the party because I've lost it.
No worries.
Let's see. So I have kill. I do not. So you start with 1, right?
Yeah.
And then okay, I definitely don't have anything that would apply here for domain. I just have Haven.
Yeah.
And I don't believe. I think yeah, that's basically it. I'm not getting mastery from anything.
Cool. This is difficulty of challenging, which is basically the default. So yeah. Roll your dice.
I get a 4.
Oh. Oh wow. I'm really not used to seeing failure. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's basically my pattern for every game I'm in.
Okay, all right. Well, I should have you on in more games. No, I'm kidding. No, sorry. Okay, so you're aiming for the head specifically. Okay. Here's what's kind of gonna happen. So you aim for the head, and the thing is, I mean, he's not an idiot. Well, he's an idiot in some respects, but he still knows. He knows what the effect of his words are, and I think as soon as like it's as soon as like you the quip leaves your mouth and you kind of move the shot, he is going to like Um, he anticipated that, so he's gonna dodge, and he's also pulled out his gun, and he shot you not at the head, but let me see how much stress you're gonna take. Blood stress. Roll me a d8. Normally, GM rolls for stress you take, but I find that's too much dice rolling on my end. So you roll me a d8 and see how much stress you're gonna get.
I get a 7.
Wow. Oh, okay. Gonna note that down. So okay, God, that's a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Do you also want me to roll for Fallout now?
I'll roll that.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, so normally you roll d10 to see if you trigger fallout. Fallouts are like conditions, for those who don't know. They're kind of like how you get affected by stuff. Normally you roll d10 Inspire, but in Heart you roll d12. Hold on. Oh boy. Okay, so I forgot how much you're gonna get because you're gonna get shot. Everyone hears like the gunfire. You've all been hearing the banter, and yeah, Calixte, you got. Yeah, it's not good. It's yeah, I think you're not gonna like I think you got hit in the leg. I think he wasn't you caught him unaware, so you're gonna shot in the leg and you're gonna take the fallout limping, so you're gonna be slowed. So you're gonna be like, if things need to be running, you're gonna be like last, or you're gonna be like, you're just gonna be slowing them down. Maeglin. Oh, sorry. I just want to call it to Maeglin, just to see what
Sure.
he's doing. What are you up to?
I did want to kind of sneak around and look inside while I'm in the train carriage if there's anything that looks like I could destroy it for my magic. Any kind of magical supplies of anything of value? Probably not, but it's worth a try.
I'll ask you. What's something of magical value looks like to a junk mage? Because you kind of get your power from stuff. How do you determine that?
I guess probably anything that has meaning. So if there's any sort of writing that has any sort of value to it, or any kind of tool, anything personal or handmade, or it's more about, I guess, the significance to someone that I can kind of channel that power or belief that's in it, because I also have that religion side of it too.
Okay.
If there's like just nothing in here, then I'm gonna try and sneak and kind of get my dagger out.
You can make a roll, and we'll see if there's something here. For sure, because it's a bit risky. This is a weird occultic train. You never know what you'll find, even though, there's a guy been cleaning things up. Okay, so you start with 1d10. I say the skilled up players that discern. You're trying to discern if, there's a place to go to, or if there's things to grab here. And this is the Vermisian is an occultic thing. It's a train that kind of runs on reality and weird stuff. It's a subway that runs on reality and weird stuff. So definitely occult applies here. I'd say.
Okay, so that would be 3 dice for me.
Yep.
Okay. That looks like a failure.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Highest would be a 2.
Oh, what? Whoa! I'm really not used
Just
to
trying
this.
to prove you wrong, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I've led you down this game. This me running under false pretenses. I'm so sorry.
Shouldn't I have also taken major Fallout according to this?
Oh yes. You probably should have. Well, it says here, you rolled a 4, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, you should have. Sorry, that is my bad. I'll get to that in a minute.
I can just take broken leg instead of limping then.
That makes more sense. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Because you rolled that. You got so much stress. You got 7. While yourself, Maeglin, I think when you go down this carriage, you you're walking down this carriage, and you know there's two carriages. There's two carriages, but you keep walking into another carriage, and then to another carriage, and they must have left something here. This carriage must have been used by people. No one built this place to just not so that no one could use it. But yeah, you just keep walking, and there's more carriages. There must be something here then. There must be something here. And you can feel kind of like the unreality of this place, kind of like it's doing things to like your physiology. So roll me a d6 for echo stress.
So that's a 2.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna take 2 echo stress, and you have 1 protection, so you want to take 1. Let me
Can I
roll
ask you a
this.
question real quick?
Yep.
What is echo stress?
Echo is for when your mind and body are being twisted by the unreal energies of the heart. So basically, when it's less of the mind and more like you're like gaining like different weird properties. I'll read out a fallout from Echo.
It's basically like magical mutation.
Yeah, you get strange appetites. You get you start calling on weird beasts. There's a siren song that gets you. You don't suffer fallout for now, thankfully, or not, because that's one of your beats. But yeah, I think what you keep going through these carriages, and once you step to the next one, you're outside again, and you kind of fall on your face on the ground. Sorry. Back inside.
So a quick question for as far as this works compared to Spire, with the protection, does it just not count towards fallout, or does that just negate one of the stress you take?
Yeah, it negates one of the stress. Yeah,
gotcha.
All right. Okay, so back inside the conductor's place, I think when you opened up the engine, Serafine, that's when the banter outside started happening. Well, you probably all heard the hooping and the hollering and the shooting as they kind of made their way. But yeah, you open this engine, and you can tell that it's for one, it started off as like an engine, but someone's bastardized it with like elements of your practice. What's kind of like the stuff from your practice that they've kind of shoved into this like metal engine?
Maybe like runes, maybe, but stitched together. So maybe with wire, maybe, especially I'm thinking like inscribed pieces of jewelry or armor, or just odds and ends that may have had either like religious phrases or symbols on them, but kind of borrowed from places and just wired it.
Sorry, I was asking Serafine the question, but no worries, it happens.
I like the idea though of like the runes and twisted bits. It's out of like vines and plants and animal leathers and sinews and stuff used to connect these like very metal and electrical wires.
Yeah, so you can see that like you can work your magic on it, but like gonna be a bit tricky because yeah, it's half what you kind of work to do, and the other half just whatever the Vermisians use to create this.
So I turn to Cauldron and I say, I think I see what your friend Avenue was talking about. It's no longer just a mechanical system, it's hybridized now. It needs blood because all of the organic components, they're dried out, they're desiccated, they have no life left to them.
Well, I think we're in luck and some blood showed up. Will you excuse me while I try to harvest it? I believe Calixte has already started the party. And I will draw my sword, and it's an enormous sword, I guess, because it's made from let me have a look. It's a scrap forged sword, so it is made actually from the remains of twisted and decommissioned trains. And yes, exactly. And it is, as I said, it is enormous, and it's kind of surprising how well you don't really see it when I'm wearing it, but when I draw it, it's there. It's definitely there. And then maybe I'll go out and try to hit this person who's shooting and shouting and doing stuff, because we need his blood.
Okay. So, all right. So, Serafine, while you kind of work out there what's happening, how the engine works, yeah. So, Cauldron, you're gonna jump out of the train, and yeah, you see, you don't see where Calixte is. You probably because she's on top of the train, but yeah, you see this guy with a half broken
I'm
mask.
screaming and cussing though, so you probably hear me.
I assume you will be all right, because you said you were a professional and you knew your stuff, so you're what could have happened. Maybe I'm a bit arrogant. I will, of course, address myself to this person and say, hello, I am a Vermisian knight. I require your blood for this machine to run. If you hold still, this will be relatively painless.
I think.
And I'm walking towards him while I speak. It's not like I'm standing there and declaring this. I'm walking towards him. I'm saying this like blah de blah de blah, and then I try to hit him with my sword. I mean, you can.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see how this goes. You're gonna try to hit him with your sword while you're doing your speech, your Inigo Montoya speech, and he's probably pointing the. Actually, no. Let's see how this roll goes, and we can see how this scene goes. So, I think because you're being ridiculous, I'm gonna bump up the difficulty to risky. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take away your highest rolling die. Yeah, difficulty ramps up here in heart.
Okay.
So 1d10 for luck. Got kill. I think that's what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Probably not properly. Well, who knows? You'll still get blood. Kill. You are still in the Vermisian. So technology. You're still in the vicinity of the train. That's how domains work, basically.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I will re-roll these two and roll another one. And let's see how they do. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, this was not so great. So I've got a 5, and I've got a 5 because you're taking away the highest, which has been a 7.
Okay. All right. Wow. Not used to people failing. Oh shit. I forgot how to mosey this along. All right. So yeah, you do your thing, and the guy's like, God, another fucking Vermisian, and I think you're making her to walk, and you're gonna do your shield, but one of actually no, his boys are still kind of behind the shield. This is kind of their shtick. I think as you're walking, he's just like, oh God. He kind of rolls his eyes at you, Calixte, as he almost shoots at. No, he shoots at Cauldron without even looking. It's like, ugh, bang. Roll me a d8. Cauldron. Okay, all right. That's not the worst. The 2 is absolutely not the worst. Let's see. Did you get any? No, you didn't get any blood connection. Okay, so you get 2, and I'm gonna roll this d12. Okay, so all right, so you're not gonna suffer fall, but you did get shot. I think because he wasn't looking, he was going, ugh. He's gonna graze you. But I think I think he also like sidestepped your sword swipe. That's why you didn't hit him. He's like, he shoots at you, but then he's kind of point blank at you now, and the 3 blokes are pulling out daggers because someone's out with a sword now. Let's go to Calixte. Calixte, your leg's messed up. You're swearing up a storm there, but their attention is now on Cauldron. How are you doing?
Not great. I'm thinking about just double check my stats here. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna try to stagger to. Now let's see. It says I fail automatically. All. Yeah. Any action involving the lay, climbing, moving above the crawl automatically fails. So yeah, I guess I kind of try to try to crawl myself over to the opposite side of the train car before I get any more shot up by these guys.
Yeah, okay. Oh God, major fall. This game is harsh. Wow.
Yeah.
Did not expect that. Yeah. So let's see what this failure looks like. Okay, let's make things weird. You crawl over on the other side of the train car, and it's almost like let me look at the fallouts. You don't see the other side of the train car. Actually, it's almost like you're seeing. It's almost like you look back and you see the scene again with the brigands. And if you turn to the other side, you see them again. Your vision is getting weird. Roll me a d6.
Okay.
This is a weird place.
That's a 1.
Okay, all right. You're doing fine so far. Okay, all right. Wow.
And did you remember to have my my stress?
Oh yes. Thanks for reminding me that. That should have happened. Because you suffered fallout. Okay. Let's see. 4, 5. Okay, that actually make sure you don't suffer fallout this time. I think which is great.
Because otherwise you just continue suffering more and more like major fallouts.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's rounding down. You clear half your stress rounding down. So it'd be okay.
Yeah, so you're fine. So I think when you crawl, you crawl over the other side. You're gonna land back on next to the train carriage, but you're on the other side of the brigands. All right, let's cut to you, Maeglin. You're outside the train carriages. You can hear you heard an exasperated "ugh" and another gunshot. What do you do?
Can I tell if I'm on the other side of them, or am I a little bit lost after?
I'm imagining you're here and they're kind of over there, as in to the right of the train carriage. You can see in front of you is the train tracks leading out of this place.
I don't think I'm very good at fighting necessarily. I'm gonna try just to see if I can find us a way out and hopefully tell my party. I want to try the Stone Course's blessing and just try my little trick of opening up a path to a Temple of the Old Gods, because maybe that will be safer than this situation.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, it's a fucked up move. I'll just read it out loud. They claim in 100 voices, like the scraping of tectonic plates, that they are the old gods, imprisoned in the heart by upstart deities. Roll discern plus religion to cast this spell. Yeah, so 1d10 if you have discern, and if you have religion.
So I have both.
Cool. So that's a 3d10.
My idea is to get close enough to where if I can open something, maybe it's easy to just get out of here from there.
Yep.
Right.
Cool. Roll it and see how it goes.
So 7.
7. Okay, yeah. So on a success, you are going to do it, but success at a cost. You're gonna take some stress. What does this look like when you're opening this path?
I'm thinking maybe I have a couple stones that, because the whispering voice, maybe I kind of hold them together and it kind of hums like I'm listening and increasing some sort of frequency, and there's just like a crack in maybe a side of the tunnel. and just maybe a little weird rift kind of opens up in the side.
Yeah, I
Kinda
think.
glows.
Yeah, I think everyone feels it when that split opens. Everyone hears like, yeah, kind of like these voices whispering from the stones itself. Next to you, Serafine Avenue, so it's kind of like, ah, it's the ticking voices, it's the ticking voices, and I think the the outside the three blokes kind of like, what's happening? And their leader's kind of like, it's just the heart. It's just the heart. You know what's happening. Serafine, sorry, unmute there.
Yeah, so this is all just, none of this is going right. This is very frustrating. And I think as she's gritting her teeth, like these red throbbing veins start appearing on her arms. She's just going to stomp over past Avenue, sort of ignoring him and whatever he's babbling about, over to the doorway. And there's my party, like, lying on the ground, helpless before these people that keep shooting them or throwing things at them or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not lying on the ground yet.
Yeah, sure. So, I have the black magic ability that forbidden rights to channel the power within me into the world. Get the occult abilities that I can just do stuff, or is it just fictional positioning, or is it getting the skill, or how do I?
It gets you that occult domain, but most of the time, yeah, it is fictional positioning. Like, forbidden rights to channel into this. What are you trying to do? Tell me what you're trying to do.
So I have this like blood infection from the heart running through my veins. So I'd like to share that with that stupid leader guy there, who's all full of himself.
God, okay. 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 All right. What does that look like? I'm gonna allow it because it sounds fucking cool.
And this is how everyone in the party ends up being shot in the leg.
All right. Okay. So, ooh. All right.
I had the idea of like spiders on the train. Maybe I call one of them to help me.
Oh yeah, you do have Beast Tongue. Once per session, declare you find a useful creature who might be able to help you out.
Ah, yes. So just there in the doorway, on the way out of the train, I find this giant, like, purple and green spider. That I let it bite down and suck some of the infection out of my veins, and then send it skittering across the ground to get the leader guy.
Oh my god. Okay. Before we get to that, actually, I just remembered. Sorry. Litany of excuses. That Maeglin needs to take some stress because it was a 7. Yeah. So I think when you split I think this is all happening simultaneously as Serafine comes out full of, well, not piss and vinegar, but like blood and other oily substances. You're opening this rift, and I think it's opening, where the train tracks usually lead. Roll. I think the effort of it kind of like rankles on your skin. Roll me a d6 for echo stress. Okay.
All right, 2.
2. All right.
So I guess that's 1.
Yeah. Once that stacks up, I'm gonna roll. Okay, you're still fine. You're still fine. Yeah, your skin like settles as you kind of open this rift. But yeah, let's cut to Serafine. You're sending this spider to infect. Okay, all right. So see this roll. Go on.
Well, you say that, but I have the important skill of pattern recognition, and I know how Roll for Your Party is acting today. So I'm using my unorthodox methods from Enlightenment. Once per session, when you would roll dice to resolve an action, but before you roll, instead state that your result is a 6 and you succeed but take stress.
That's fair enough. Thanks, Roll for Your Party. All right. So I think the effort, you kind of bit of a link when you feed this spider your blood, so you can puppeteer it for a moment, but it's a bit of a strain to your mind because Spider is an animal intelligence. It's a bit tricky to like puppeteer that. So roll me a d6 of mind for mind stress.
All right. 2.
2. Okay. Did you pick up any mind protection?
No, I have blood protection.
Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. Take 2 mind. And I'm going to roll this d12. Oh, no, it went that way. I'm just going to pick up another d12. Sorry. Set that down. I could just roll in the roll for your party, but I run a lot of PBTA games. I never get to roll dice. This is a luxury. I don't have any friends I play with IRL. That doesn't mean I don't have any friends. I just don't have friends who I play with. Oh, wow. So you're going to suffer fallout. I actually rolled low underneath your stress. Okay.
Is it minor mind fallout?
It's minor because it's minor because it's only like you only have 2 stress. So I'm going to give you the fallout creepy. You react in a strange way that weirds out your friends. I don't need to ask you how, do I? I think your friends see you feed this spider your blood.
It's real big and creepy, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, my veins are all like glowing and red right now.
Yeah, so any friendly character who sees you do it marks D4 stress to mind. So everyone else roll a D4. You see, as not only as you see it, but you see the spider kind of leap towards this guy and just like bite him. And
do I see it? I'm on the opposite side of the train.
Oh, I guess you don't see it. Yes, you don't see it. Thankfully, I think.
Same for me, I don't mind taking it, but I don't know if I would see it.
Yeah, you're actually far enough.
But I see it.
But you see it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I see it. So
yeah.
I roll d6, right?
D4.
D4. Oh, that's
just good. Yeah, that's what this fallout says.
Let's see. That would probably be a 4. No, it's a 1.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so just mind, and yeah, you're doing fine, stress wise. Yeah. So okay, I think what happens when you infect someone with this heart or this blood virus, Serafine? Initially, when they first get it.
I think when he first gets it, it's just you see like this tracery of the veins like going up his neck and into his face. I think it starts to connect him to the whatever the heart is around here, so he starts like feeling that in his mind.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a rush, all this feeling into his mind, and yeah, I think he just starts gibbering. He starts shuddering and almost kind of slapping himself as soon as the spiders leapt away. And when he looks at his crew, his boys,
can I take this opportunity when he starts slapping himself to also slap him?
just to slap him
with my sword.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Yeah, I think fictionally he's a bit distracted, and you bump down the difficulty. Sure, slap him. Actually, you know what? There's no difficulty here. There's no need to roll. He's quite confused, and his boys are looking at him with rapt horror. Roll me a d8. That's your damage of your scrap forged sword.
It's a 4.
Okay, so yeah, I think you hit him, and I think you don't hit him on like the let me just double check his stats. I need to double check. I have too many tabs. I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, I think your sword kind of like it cuts him, but he's not completely down yet. I think you hit him with a force that like kind of makes him go forward a bit, but he's still kind of like distracted and he's stabbing himself, but he's still kind of alive and he's bleeding. But his boys are like, fuck this, and they've ran off. They've left the shield behind, Calixte, so don't worry. But he's still kind of staggering around and he's bleeding.
Oh, that's good. We need his blood anyway. So can I maybe drag him up to Serafine? Because she wanted blood for the machine, right? and he's bleeding. And he's infected with her poison, so that's should be perfect, I guess.
I mean, gold stars to you. You're A+ on the team so far.
Yeah. Also, I don't know, probably Calixte you noticed as well. There is now a big rift into something that's that's going into, like, it's covered up where the train tracks usually go. It's a nice place, that place. So
It's calming.
calming for some people. Calixte, there's no danger anymore. But you still have a broken leg, so you can probably, like, I don't know, call out to someone, or how are you doing, Calixte?
Sorry, I kind of heft myself up on the handlebars on the side of the train and kind of stagger my way back onto the actual train car.
I think you get in, and there's Avenue there, and I think they've kind of like they're kind of clutching their shovel now, and they point at you, it's like, you are you a brigand? Huh? Are you a thief? Are you some dog? They're pointing their blunt shovel at you, the poor thing.
I just sigh annoyedly and just snap at him. If I were a fucking brigand, you'd have a bullet through your head now. Now get back to your work, and I'm just gonna take a nap, all right?
yeah, they're chasing. They're gonna go back to, like, the furnace and start just keep their scraping. Oh, actually, no. You said you want to take a nap, so they're gonna, like, just they don't know what to do. You can go to one of the carriages and take the nap, I guess. Okay.
It's not a deep nap. It's more of a lie down and rest with my broken leg than and not be walking around everywhere.
Yeah, I think everyone can get back now in the carriage. Although there is a struggle, I think, probably because you still have this guy. What's the name I gave him? His name is Morrow, as in, tomorrow, and he's a bit insensible. He's babbling about the fragilities of the heart is pumped through the capillaries of the soul, that sort of thing.
Smack him in the if I'm there, I just smack him in the head with the butt of my pistol, and I just keep smacking him in the head every couple seconds until he stops talking.
Please don't. We need him to feed the machine.
I'm not going to kill him. I just wanted him to shut him up.
But I am. So.
Wow.
Yes, I'm penitent, but not about killing brigands.
Fair enough.
Dick. He was a dick to us.
Yes, I mean, so.
He was a massive dick. Yeah. Maeglin, are you gonna explain the rift you've opened up to folks? It's still there.
Yeah, I guess it's not really weird to me. I'm just kind of looking into it and listening to the sounds and the glow and just saying, well, if y'all need a rest, it's nice and peaceful here. I thought I could find a better way. I don't know what it looks like or if it's really going anywhere. I looked it up and it actually stays for an hour, so I can't really close it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think you tell me. It says it's one of the like paths to one of the parasitic temples of the old gods, sucking existence from the world like ticks. So I'm imagining this tunnel is like heaving for some reason. That's a terrible word to apply to a tunnel. What's the site that you see?
The tunnel's heaving bosom.
Thanks, Stephen. What's the site you see, Maeglin, through the rift, like through this heaving tunnel? What's like on the other side? See from there.
I'm gonna go with that. A heaving tunnel, but maybe it's like glowing blue. Maybe it's like you're looking at the inside of a giant sea creature or a whale. Maybe there's just kind of like ribs and just some there's broken bit like temple rubble and stuff on the bottom, and maybe there's just kind of looks like writings on the walls that's glowing in language I don't understand.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably where you're going next if you get this once you get this train running, because again, the rift is covering up the train tracks.
It's perfect. As I said, the witch covens, they sent what was needed. It was a broken train, so Vermissian. Blood was needed to run it, so blood was delivered. And we need a path forward, and now we have one.
I love it.
God. All right. I think there's no need to roll for this. Oh, sorry, I thought someone spoke up. Okay, so I don't think there's a roll for this. I think you're just gonna drain this guy's blood into the engine, and the train powers up, and you're gonna go backwards, carriage first, into this rift. So here's what's gonna happen. To get to the next landmark, events are gonna happen. So like instances, this old temple is gonna be one event, and I'm gonna roll a die, and I will tell you how many events you need to get through to get to the next landmark. But I do think the Venerian has a move. I think actually that affects that.
I think I have a move that affects that, yes. Good that you know that. I have a move that is called Shortcut. When I align my mind to the rhyme of the rails, when you roll to see how many events are triggered in the journey between the landmarks, they roll 2 dice of the same type, I think, and not of the same time, and pick the lower.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll 2d4. And I won't tell you how many events. That's for me. Like technically, this is meant to be a secret roll, but since we're all learning this game, I might as well be out in the open. All right. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, that dice fell there. Okay. All right. Since we're near the top of the hour, let's take a break. Let's take 10 this time. And then we'll scream through this last hour, get through these events, and see what's happening. What weird stuff. Sorry.
So
Be back in 10.
all right.
Hello? Hello? Cool. So, okay. 30, 40, so that will get me a solid 40 points.
I should do a quick check-in. How are you folks doing? Are you still good?
Good.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So, man, let's get this train rolling. Yeah, what does this? Okay. Cauldron, what does this look like when this ridiculous occult train heaves into this like heaving tunnel?
Well, you know, these old steam trains, they had those whistles that they would sound when they were started to let people know that the trains are starting. This train does something similar, only it screams. It's not a whistle, it's just the machine or whatever is in the machine. It gives out a loud scream of rage and pain, I guess. I mean, there's a dead person in there now. And some kind of existential delight because it's moving now. And the first few revolutions of the wheels will be heavy. And then when it finds its pace, it will start pushing and it will run as smooth as butter.
Nice. Oh, I should have mentioned. Did anyone pick up that shield that the boys left behind? If not, then we just left it behind.
I was busy picking up that guy.
I have a broken leg, so I'm not carrying anything.
Ah, that's a shame.
I didn't get it, but Maeglin walked past it.
Oh, was it near me? You know, I wish I did, but I think I was pretty preoccupied with this portal, to be honest.
Fair
I'm
enough.
To touch.
Fair enough. You left that shield behind. You do find on his person like a pouch of miscellaneous stuff, wedding rings, scarves, gold teeth, family heirlooms, all fairly illegal stuff. Whoever wants to claim that pouch, you enter this into your your equipment. Well, not if you probably took it from someone by force. These were brigands.
I grab the pouch. If nobody else is immediately grabs it.
Well, I'm busy shoving him into the fire in the furnace, so you can have the pouch.
Yeah. Pay for my goddamn leg.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did anyone pick up his? Oh, go on, Serafine.
Oh, I was just gonna say because of damn name, Calixte's broken leg. I do have the mend skill. Is there anything that can be done there?
Let me double check. This is what happens when. Let's see.
There were, of course, healing magics I could pick up. I definitely didn't take those. Those would have been too useful.
Yeah. Yeah, you can try to mend. I think that would get rid of stress. Oh yeah, if you possess a skill, when you perform the action associated with the skill, you roll under D10 and okay, yeah, all right, that's fine. Yeah, I think what does that look like? You try to heal Calixte.
Well, it's a broken leg, so it's a lot of it is just like setting and binding it. But I do think there's obviously the requisite like green smelly paste or something to put over it just to make it unpleasant in some way.
Yeah, Calixte, how are you feeling about this?
Calixte doesn't particularly like it, but to be frank, she knew what she was getting into when she got sent down to the heart.
Okay, so go on, Serafine.
No.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm a bit paranoid that I'm speaking over people today. I don't know why. All right, so let's see. 1d10 for luck. I think this is happening as the train has settled down. Another d10 for mend. Let me look at your domains. You're still in the Vermisian. That's occultish. That's kind of why I set you all of this so you can use your occult domains. You're still, and this is a train that's kind of transmogrified by witch blood bullshit. So you have that. Sorry, okay. I'm sorry.
So, for each,
Yeah, 3.
that's a 10.
Wow. All right. So that's a critical success. So what's going to happen is you are going to roll. Wait, how many 10s do you roll?
I got a 10 and a 9 and a 1.
Okay, cool. All right. So what's going to happen is you're going to roll a D8, and that's how much stress you're going to take away from Calixte's stress, or Calixte can choose to instead downgrade that fallout.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. That I think it would be probably smarter to downgrade my stress from my broken leg to just limping.
Yeah.
It's probably been
that makes-
splinted up, and I can walk around on it if not well.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. Any more bookkeeping? Anyone pick up that gun that the dude had? Sorry, equipment's kind of somewhat important. It was stuff. I'm gonna say no. He probably dropped it when he got bit by the big spider.
I don't know if I have. I mean, I might have, because I've got the skill of kill, and I think I could use it, right?
I'll let you have it. I'll be nice.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
Okay, here it is. I'll paste the stats of that thing. It's a heavy bore arcade pistol. It's vicious, and I shouldn't have shot you with it because it has a 1-shot tag, so he should have reloaded. Oops, that's my bad. Again, see, litany of excuses. Okay. Yeah. So this train. Yeah, it's going through a tunnel that's not really meant to go through, but it's doing it surprisingly well. It's almost like, this tunnel's kind of inviting, and it's going to shoot you out into like this big open space, which since this is kind of your space, Maeglin. Actually, let's paint the scene a bit. So what's going to happen is each of you give me a detail about this space, about this like temple to an old god. And we kind of have an inkling of it from what you said, Maeglin, but I'll start with you. What's kind of like the main details? We kind of go into this kind of blank space for y'all to paint scene paint details on. Megan, what does the temple of the old god look like?
Definitely feels like it's either like in ice or underwater. I'm just kind of going with that glow you described from the beginning, just like sort of a blue glow. To me, it's very calming. Maybe there's just kind of echoes and chimes, kind of distant sounds if you listen. Maybe kind of really tall ceilings. Maybe it looks like there's a pool. There's something that goes really down. So just a weird verticality to it.
Cool. What's a detail about this place, Serafine, that kind of like connects it to the heart? Like as you feel like your blood disease kind of like resonate with this place a bit.
I think it's the wetness. Gosh, sorry, keep hitting mute. Not used to having to use the button. My headphones broke recently. But instead of like blood through these vessels, through these tunnels, I think the walls are just constantly streaming with water that's like flowing down the walls, but never really seems to like pool at the bottom. It's hard to say where it goes, but it's just this constant like waterfall flow on either side.
Nice. Cauldron, what's a detail about this place that makes it feel connected to Spire, to the world around?
I have no idea about Spire.
Okay, well, not so much like Spire itself, but more like what's a detail about this place that means like it's not just like deep in the heart, that's connected to an
Okay.
outside world.
Something more normal. Okay. I guess it's kind of grandiose, right? And glowy, and the water is running funny, but nevertheless, there are some pretty normal fungi growing in the edges, and once you see a rat, it's a pretty normal rat, and they get everywhere, right? Rats. That's just that's just happening. So there are always, when you glance at the corners or the edges, that you find these little bubbles of normalcy, like the fungi you know, or fern that you've seen before, or mosses that don't look exceptionally weird or anything. And I guess that sometimes that gets broken up by the cockroaches over there. They seem pretty normal until you notice that they're worshipping a bigger, bluer, watery cockroach. Well, yeah, we're driving past though.
Yeah, that's pretty typical for Spire.
Yeah. Yeah. And Calixte, what's a detail about this place that reminds you that you didn't want to be here?
Frozen in the ice, there are just skeletons that seem to be frozen in the state of desperately crawling away from where we're headed.
It's amazing. Never making it easy. Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, you said why I don't want to be here. I'm not going to describe. Oh yes, and they're just all like clear, like a bunch of people that are clearly welcoming to us.
I thought you'd say something like, "Oh, there's like a bed of flowers, and this reminds me of the time that I don't know, shot someone over a bed of flowers." That's patently more ludicrous than what you suggested. So I see why you didn't go for that. Yeah, I think this ride going through this like cavernous space, and it is cavernous. Like, yeah, there's the wetness and the fungi and those skeletons. So you just kind of drive past. It's a slow chug, mainly because you're going backwards. There's a train, as a train. Yeah, all this imagery kind of draws the eye. But for you, Maeglin, you feel well. Probably you feel quite at home here, and yeah, you can remove a d6 of stress. Like, I count you meditating in the train, since you're all in the place. You're in this temple. If you want to get rid of echo stress, which you do have some, or you want to keep that so we can try and get you that hit your
I'm
beat.
okay keeping it, actually.
Yeah.
That's an ability I can always use to open up another temple if I really want to chill out, but I'll keep it for now.
Yeah. I think the tricky part is, so the train's kind of moving, and I'll explain kind of how events work. Events are kind of like, yeah, they're vignettes on the way to landmarks, and the way Heart is, every time you go from one landmark to another, if you've never been to that landmark before, things are always weird. The events in between are always going to be different. So next time you go from that train station, which in my notes is called the Train of Want, the next time you go from there to where you're going, it's going to be different events, for sure. Unless you open this rift again, which it could be a different temple. But each event is kind of like, is going to be settled by a roll. And I think what this looks like is one of you kind of like needs to like navigate this engine just so. And yes, it could go to where the skeletons are coming from. I think it's almost guaranteed to be there, but like, I need someone to like direct the train.
I think that would be my thing, right? Because I have the domain, or the skills probably don't work out, but I have the domain of technology.
Yeah, it works out. This specific motion, trying to navigate, that's usually the delve skill, but
no, I don't have that.
Yeah, don't have it, but you do have technology.
I do have technology. That's what delve is for. Okay, I didn't really know that.
Yeah.
Is there any way magic users could help? I don't remember how helping works for roles, or do we need a domain or something?
Yeah, you need an appropriate domain or skill to give help.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, would occult count?
Yes. This. Well, you can only have one domain. Oh, occult could count. Yes, occult could count because someone else.
Yeah, if one of the mages wants to help me, then they could use occult.
Sure, I can try to help.
Cool, because this is your temple, kind of makes sense, right? That you help me navigate it.
Sure, yeah. I'm thinking I'm going with that heart song, that maybe I'm listening and starting to hear more of a strange heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So 1d10 for luck. You don't have the skill, but you don't have, but you have the domain, and you're getting help from Maeglin. So it's 3d10.
3d10. Let's see where that goes. I have a 9.
Cool. Yeah. So 9 is yeah, it's a success. So actually, I should explain what each number means for y'all. 1 is a critical failure. 2 to 5 is just failure. 6 to 7 is success at a cost. Basically, anything below a 7, you're gonna take stress. It's just 6 to 7 is a success, but you're still gonna take stress. 8 to 9 is a success, and 10 is critical. So there we go. So you know you want to aim 6 and above. Okay, so yeah, this I think you navigate the train carriage first. Um and hold on, let me check my okay, here we go. Yeah, you navigate carriage first, and yeah, the cavern kind of slowly kind of closes in. It's back to that heaving form, and I think the train is running over. You hear like the train running over what sounds like chips or like cracks or and as kind of like as if like this rift kind of opens up and you get spat out into like um you got spat out into like a desert. I think it's like you're like in a small like dune, and this place is like dark. There's barely any light. You can see there's like a ceiling above you, but there's like dust kind of plowing, kind of like there's a dust storm going on. So kind of as this train kind of plows in, and you're moving through all this ash. I gave the game away. The dust is actually ash. Oops. I haven't had dinner. So yeah, suddenly you're flinging through this ash. This train kind of like goes in, and like the ash kind of accumulates as the train kind of like slows a bit, and you'll see in the distance. Double check. Ooh. You see in the distance like this squat building. Oh no. Yeah, you see a squat building kind of this like small like block. It's like it's a block of bricks, and it's kind of moving. It's moving quite slowly over the horizon, and when you get closer, you see like a group of people are carrying this block. There's like a group of like 20 people are kind of carrying this big block on their backs. It's a block of like red brick. There's like a door to it, and there's symbols all over it. And your train kind of passes by, and the person, the leader at front, they've kind of like got a mask and goggles. No, they're just no, should there be snail people? We'll figure it out. Play to find out. No, these aren't snail people. There's a cloaked figure. He's wearing a mask and kind of like goggles and a hood. Kind of like calls out to you, "Hello, fellow travelers." Anyone call back? Or you're just gonna pass by?
Yeah, I think calling back is a good idea. Or do you want to? Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, I call back and say, just kind of wave.
They kind of wave, and I think the dust and the ash are kind of like slowed you all down to the point where you kind of lock step with each other as these 20 people are carrying this building, and this hooded figure is like, "What brings you down the heart, fellow travelers?"
We're going to the Red Market.
The Red Market, where all things can be found for a price.
That's what I hear.
Well, we of the Order of Brick and Mortar have found no need for prices anymore. Is that right? And the folks going to grumble, yeah, yes, yes. Still lifting this thing.
That is very laudable. Then I'm looking back at the others and I'm mouthing, which you can see because I wear a mask. I'm mouthing something.
So you're poor then?
We are poor only in possessions. In everything else, we are full to bursting. And the crowds and the group is like, yeah. They're exhausted. They look very tired.
Do they sound as enthusiastic as it seems to be, or are they just exhausted and but still there's still heart in it, or are they like, oh my god, this dude?
They sound so exhausted that you can't tell which is which one, but they just sound really tired as they're moving this building on their backs.
Why are you carrying that? It looks particularly heavy. Would you rather some wheels or something?
Well, you are figuring out right now, fellow travelers, that wheels find little purchased in these dunes. Besides, our pilgrimage demands the hardship.
Where are you going?
I think they kind of like, I don't know, their goggles squint somehow. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they they squint and they peer at you and say, "It is only for those. It is only for those who believe in brick and mortar, who have the privilege of knowing where we shall take such brick and mortar. You have your own gods, Vermisian, and we have ours."
Of course. And I'm looking at the others, and the train is making a bit of noise, so I'm trying to talk quietly here, and I say, at least we get to do our god thing in a cabin that drives us and not have to carry it around, but hey.
Definitely liking this religion better than theirs at the moment, yes.
I think, yeah. I'm not gonna do anything with this bloke. I think what this guy's gonna say is like, well, we have a long journey down into the depths of the heart. He's saying spar. Perchance our path may meet again, and where all knowledge comes together.
Perhaps you seem knowledgeable of this place. Is there anything you can tell us of the road forward? Way forward, I suppose.
They kind of like ponder that, and they're still walking. This is all happening as they're walking, and the crowd behind them are still moving. They're like, well, the next landmark is a haven of sorts, so you will find rest. Though you may find that what they believe in to be at odds with yours, with what you believe in. But that is the beauty of the heart. It accepts all beliefs, even though most of them are blasphemous.
Thank you for the advice.
They kind of nod, very satisfied, and they go and they turn to the crowd and go, "Ho! We have much to travel. Pick up the pace." And they start to overtake you. And the crowd's like, oh, as they carry their building. And I think that's where they kind of split off. Yeah. I think there's not going to be a role. This is just the event that happens. I don't know if you make a bond. I don't think any of you try to make a bond with this bloke. You just know there's a bunch of building worshippers there. Yeah, and you're gonna get to the next landmark, which let me note down what I wrote. I said, oh, let me find what I wrote. What do you mean? Let me note down what I wrote. I'm babbling. So yeah, I think the dust kind of like starts to lessen out, and it becomes more solid ground. And you drive on, and you kind of take this turn. I assume that you can move the train to like turn, and I've lost my place in the sheet where this. Hold on. Sorry, give me a sec. Nope, I did not say cops or crops. Here we go. You you turn like this corner, and you're in this. You see this massive cave, gigantic, 20 stories tall, sort of cave, and you probably like you kind of like the train kind of halts to a bit, and you see like there's like small like a small like shanty town kind of near around you, but the first thing you see is there's this giant corpse in this cavern. It's hard to discern what it is because it's so gigantic. I'll ask each of you, what does each character perceive it to be? And I'm going to go reverse order of the character keeper. Calixte, what do you see when you see this gigantic corpse?
Probably a sky whale. The high elves for some reason thought they back during the exploration they thought sending a few sky whales down to an underground cavern sounded like a good idea. Usually when you find their corpses, though, they tend to be a bit more exploded than this one.
Yeah, this thing is remarkably intact. Cauldron, what do you see?
I see a dragon, I think, or maybe it's kind of a dragon. It is. I do not know if it's the one that I killed, which led to all the bad events that led to me being here, or if it's just a sibling or something similar, but it really reminds me of killing the wrong creature or person at the wrong time.
Gosh. Serafine, what do you see?
Similar but smoother to what Cauldron sees. It's a giant serpent, a snake, huge, unbelievably large. Imagine it could get through down here, just the biggest tunnels.
Yeah, I think that's what you notice as well. Yeah, how did it even get here? It doesn't look like there's a way to get in. Maeglin, what do you see?
I think that this must be one of the bodies of the old gods that the stone chorus was telling me about, that something this huge must be really, really old to grow that large. Maybe it was imprisoned down here by the other gods above that are kind of the false upstart ones. So this is probably something powerful. I'm kind of curious.
Nice. Yeah. So this thing, this corpse, it is all that and none of that, and I think the immensity of it kind of like dwarfs y'all's vision and imagination. I think the train stops to a halt in front of like this it's kind of like a small like shanty town. There's like the houses kind of made of like iron and whatnot, corrugated iron and whatnot. It's all kind of patched together. There's like a bunch of half built like brick and mortar houses. And I think I don't think people notice you. I think it's just more travelers are here. I'll say that now. Mechanically, this place is what they call a haven. This is a safe spot, even though there's a giant god. Actually, no. I think one person does come in. There is come to the train. They look quite cautious.
Is there a train station, or are we just stopping because the rails are gone, or it's your
I
turn.
think you're stopping because you're out of fuel.
Gonna have to stab some more people, obviously.
Yeah, there's this one there is one person kind of like coming close. She's got like she's a drow, big bouffant hair. She's got like another weathered cloak. Everyone has a lot of weathered cloaks here. But with like bits of pauldron, it's kind of scrapped together. She's kind of carrying like a rifle, and she calls out to your group. Halt! State your business.
Yeah, I think that at this Calixte kind of draws out of the glimpse out of the car and holds out, and this is like my one-time session move thing. Holds out her the badge that she has as the deputy of Lord Fervent Thesis scours the horizon.
Ooh. Let me note that down, actually.
And I kind of shout out, I'm here. I represent. I'm a hound of his lord, Fervent Thesis. Now I don't know what gods you have protecting you here, but I can promise you this: they won't protect you from the High Elves' wrath if you shouldn't let their servants through.
Let me reread that move, because it's gonna let you do this. I just need to know what how
You
they're
may
gonna
gain
react.
access to a place where you would otherwise not be welcome by dint of your reputation.
Okay, I think you wave that badge, and she like,
And I'm either greeted with open arms or badly hidden frustration.
yeah, that's gonna be the latter. She kind of holds up her rifle and sighs, and she says, "No, Elfir arrogance have no place here with the god of corpses. But we're not. But we're not idiots. This community is open for those who would respect it." And I think she throws a look at you, Calixte, and she says, "For you, Hound, we're expecting someone of your like. Our regent priest would like to speak with you."
I was kind of spinning the ground in front of me just to let her know I don't really give a fuck if she doesn't like me. And I say, well, I'll go have a meeting with them.
I think this lady's like, in due time. For now, enjoy our hospitality. And I think she says that, with like gritted teeth, and then just walks off.
Really quick before she leaves, I want to just kind of Maeglin's going to, whether acting or not, just look a little nervous and just say, how can we know that this place is safe? How do you all keep yourself safe from what's out there, from the heart?
She stops, she turns around and kind of nods at the corpse and says, "Faith has kept us safe." And then she walks away.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who are you playing again? I'm just forgetting.
Maeglin, the junk mage.
Oh yeah, I kind of turn back to you and say, it's the heart, boy. Safe is that they'll stab you in your sleep rather than to your face.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we're gonna spend like the last half hour kind of like, I want to know like what you're doing at this place, and tell me what you want to find out or do each character. There are like, the way kind of havens work is, this is a place to like restock, or try to get rid of stress, or talk to like people who are not going to stab you. This kind of like a safe place. This is
Just
kind of like
yet. I think you should specify yet there.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Say that again. Like internet.
Oh, I was just saying, I think you should specify yet there. Not gonna stab you yet.
Yet, yeah, yeah. This is port in the storm, but if y'all do something, like that's y'all's business. Yeah, so this is a place to like acquire stuff or like look up stuff or just talk to people. Why do you want to be stabbed? What? Who would?
First of all, I want to be stabbed to hit a beat, and second of all, if somebody stabs me, I can stab them back, and we can get more fuel.
Wow. Wow.
I'm playing a game about losing my mind exploring a reality-breaking dungeon. Like, getting stabbed is really like the least of the problems we'll be facing here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I say safe place. There is like a giant corpse in the background. Yeah.
When out of character, one of my beats is to let the heart in. So I want to know if there's any defenses there that I might.
You see, like I just, you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, yeah. Oh, if you do something wrong.
Okay. All right. Let's go to what each person wants to do in a row. Yeah. So that's what you want to do. You want to figure out if there's okay. All right.
Yeah, in a very sneaky, shady kind of way. Just because I think I don't think it's necessarily bad. I know it's dangerous, but that's you just got to let it in and hear what it has to say.
Oh my god. Okay. Serafine, what do you want to do in this place?
What was that woman's name again?
She didn't give her name. You can spot her. I think if you look around, she's the only one with a big, big bouffant afro sort of hair. She's a drow, I should mention as well.
She feels like she's hiding something from us, so I want to find out what's going on with this god of corpses and the corpse of the god of corpses. All that.
Nice. All right. Cauldron, do you want to get into a fight? There's probably a bar here somewhere if you want to get into a fight.
No, I don't want to get into a bar fight because these people are drunk, and that is too much like premeditated murder for my taste. I mean, I'm a bad person. I know that.
I mean, you don't need to take all of their blood, do you?
Yes, but also I want to drag off somebody. So I'll just go to the bar, drink a bit,
And
then,
maybe you'll murder someone.
And then I walk out, and maybe these guys think I'm a lot more drunk than I am, and maybe they will try something. That could happen.
Wow. Okay. Let's see how that
plausible deniability.
Yeah. Well, but they don't have to do this. It's their choice.
Okay. Oh, I should mention
some entrapment, really.
Yeah. Also, I should mention there are people here who can take out stress. There is the ribcage market. Oh my god. That's for supplies. You've not lost any supplies. And there are the avid chirurgeons. I don't know what that means. They get rid of chirurgeons.
It's from the Greek, so it's kairos.
Ah, okay. Cool. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, and they help get rid of blood stress.
Yeah, I might go after.
Let's see how the drunkenness does first. But Calixte, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm actually probably going to like I need to make contact with my master. So I'm probably going to stop in at whoever represents High Elven law in this podunk backwater.
God, that attitude. All right, cool. Let's start with Maeglin first. So
I don't like the High Elves either. I just still think this is a podunk backwater.
Is there anything you like?
I like my bar, but then like the fact that I murdered a whole bunch of people, eventually came back to bite me.
Yeah, who knew that would happen? Who knew? All right, so you want to figure out what are ways to get the heart in. This is going to be a bit of a roll, Maeglin. And I'm saying this because you
Sure.
have discern. This is going to be a risky difficulty. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take away your highest rolling die because what you want to do is a bit much.
Sure. Could I? So I do have sneak, and I don't know if I could just sort of poke around where that giant skeleton was, or if that's too risky anyway.
Yeah, you can only have one skill, D10. So either works, honestly.
okay.
So
Sure.
that just means you get one D10.
Yeah, like you get a base D10, one for having a relevant skill, one for having a relevant domain, and then one for mastery if you get it. And
Okay,
that's
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah.
So two dice for that.
Yeah. Tell me how you're doing this. What's Maeglin doing? Like when we see him in the fiction.
I think the woman we talked to pointed towards that giant skeleton, and that's drawn my attention right away anyway. So I just want to poke around and see if something I can just walk inside, or just get up close and touch and feel if there's like power in the bones there, or if I can tamper with whatever power might be there.
Yeah, I think you're getting close to like their equivalent of their church, which is actually like a bunch of like walkways that circle around like the feet of this corpse, or just where it's touching the ground, because I have no bloody clue what this corpse actually is because I'm finding what everyone described. Yeah, so yeah, it's a bunch of walkways, and there are like a bunch of folks who are, doing what looks like some sort of weird pilgrimage. There are some folks who are like walking up and down this walkway. Okay, give me that roll. 2d10.
Yep, that's 2.
Oh boy. Okay. Because I'm very determined to give you echo stress. Here's what happens. You position yourself with these pilgrims in this walkway as if as if you're part of them. And I think it's quite hushed. Folks try to like walk as quietly as possible, as if they're loud enough, they'll they'll disturb this thing, and you kind of fall into lockstep with them, and you can feel like your footsteps getting quieter and like quieter, as kind of like some sort of effect kind of washes over you coming from this corpse. Roll me a d6.
All right, it's a 4.
4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm gonna roll this d12. Oh, where'd it go? All right, so here's what happens. You hear a small, tinny howl in the back of your mind. And as you walk through this like walkway, this howl gets slightly louder, just a bit. And I think once you kind of like finish walking through this walkway, that howling is still there. When you're kind of like done with the pilgrimage, then it stops. And then it's gone for the moment. You're getting the Fallout ravening call. There's no actual effect, but it'll stay on your character. And if it gets upgraded, oh buddy,
That's
you're gonna
awesome.
find out where that howling came from.
That's right on theme. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least you got that. Yeah, we got that beat at the end. Okay. And I'll calculate how much I should get rid of stress because you suffered fallout, but I'll do that later. I want to get through like everyone's things before we wrap up. Let's just like quickly. Serafine. So you're following this lady.
Yeah. And I'm trying to study her, and as we get closer, if we get closer to the big thing, I'm trying to study it as well. But I have the ability to see ghost specters and other unseen creatures if any are floating.
Ooh, okay. So I think here's what happens. You follow her, and she kind of goes to like not at the walkways, but like there's like a small like hut that's painted in like light colors of sorry, excuse me, light colors of yeah, light colors of red. And you see like she takes out off the rifle and kind of puts it outside this building and kind of goes in and moves this like sheeting as like a makeshift door. The rifle's outside, which is a bit weird.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna follow her in.
Ooh, so okay, so yeah, you open the sheeting and it's just like a small building, but you can see like yeah, there is a opening down into the ground, and the weird thing is even though it's underground, there is like the walls are kind of like it's like the walls are like filled with fireflies, kind of like that sort of feeling. Like there's like light um on those walls, and yeah, you hear those footsteps coming down there. You keep following.
Yeah, I think as I get down into the tunnel proper would be the moment to like pause and actually look around for spirits or things. And keep following
Yeah.
down the stairs.
Yeah. So this tunnel kind of like yeah, just slopes down. And then I don't know how you don't know how it happens, but it starts sloping up. And you keep climbing up and up until like wait. You should be above ground, but you're still in a tunnel. And you're walking up and suddenly like the slope turns into stairs. And you keep going until like you feel air. And you feel like a whistling of the air from up the stairs. And you see like a bit of light poking. You keep going.
Heading towards it, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Oh, when you go into the light, you see you're suddenly so far above, like the town in the cavern, and okay. Actually, I need you to do me a roll. I need a roll from you to see like if she's gonna have the drop on you, or if you're gonna have the drop on her.
I have discern. I don't have sneak. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, this would be a bit of a sneak. I don't know if discern works. Discern's for like trying to figure out information.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think cursed or occult comes into play.
Let me see the domains on this place. This place does have domains. Yeah, no,
Oh,
the domain. Yeah, the landmarks have their own domains. This one has haven and religion. So no, none of yours.
Makes sense.
With you. Yeah. So this is a straight up D10 then.
Just the one. Right. That's a 5.
Yeah. Okay. So roll me a D6. This is going to be against your fortune resistance, which is how lucky you are.
2.
All right. Okay, that's not the worst. Let me see. Fortune. Not suffered any fallout yet. So okay, so you have 4. Wow. Okay, so so you're not gonna get any fallout. So what's gonna happen is because you failed. You feel you walking out into like what looks like a balcony. It's like a balcony made of like I'd say it's still made of wood and whatnot. It's a hastily constructed like balcony, kind of like attached to. Oh, you'll find out what it's attached to. And I think what happens is you feel like you hear a sword being drawn behind you, and the woman's voice goes, "You shouldn't be here, blasphemer."
I'm here to learn. Here to find everything that the heart hides. You can't hide your secrets from me.
Then behold, and when you turn around, you see that this platform is kind of attached to what looks like this surface, this blue surface. That's kind of like, it looks soft. It looks almost gelatinous. And I think the camera is going to zoom away from this soft blue gelatinous surface to see that you're on the eye of this thing.
Oh,
Let's cut to Cauldron. Yeah, so you want to get drunk and fight some people.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're gonna find the bar. Shouldn't be that hard. What's a good Spire bar name? Well, not Spire, but like Heart, I guess. Who? So I'm gonna hang up on this. Yeah. So you find this bar.
Call it Chart of Roses and have done with it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Chart of Roses. Yeah. So it's a fine bar. It looks like a saloon, I guess. If we're going with the frontier aesthetic with this shanty town, yeah, it looks like a saloon. There is a bunch of people singing on the stage.
Yeah. I also might be distracted by a person who would be willing to flirt with me, but once I'm drunk.
Okay. All right.
But
so,
a night, I have a Vermissian night, and well, we are not supposed to indulge much.
Okay. All right. Here's the roll I'm gonna want from you. I'm gonna want an endure roll from you, because just so you can keep like your senses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is still challenging. We're not bumped up difficulty yet. I think the bartender is just like kind of gives you that look as if like, oh, I know your kind, from Lycian Knights. But yeah, and you don't have a.
It's just a 2d10, right?
Yeah.
Because I've got endure. Cool. Wait, I put this over there so I could get confused. Oh wow, I've got a 3.
Wow. Roll me a d8. That's how much stress you're gonna get.
Cool. A 1.
This is some really bad beer.
Yeah, maybe it's just a beer. Wow. Okay. Let's see.
It's probably brewed with fluids harvested from the giant or something like that.
Yeah, this weak swill from this giant. Yeah, you're gonna. Okay, so you've taken some stress to supplies because it's weak beer, but it's nice. You know, it's nice, tangy, like sort of nectar. Yeah. So you're what's gonna happen is, yeah, you're gonna take stress to supplies. So it means what that means that it's less likely for you to get stuff, but you just barely hold your own, and we're gonna end the what do you say when you're lather to get people riled up? And we're gonna end your bit with that.
I don't want to get people riled up. I just want to. Well, I actually wanted to spend money a bit freely, and then go out and I'm drunk now. You know. Okay. I mean, maybe somebody thinks that this is that it would be a good idea to get at my purse or something like that.
So, like, do we see you buying like a round for the house or something?
No.
And like flinging coins at the barkeep.
No, I don't have that. Oh, maybe I do. I mean, come on, this is weak stuff, and I have to pretend to be rich because otherwise they will never. Oh, I'm such a bad person.
God. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave you all the way out with you thoroughly sloshed. I think you leave the Chart of Roses, and everyone's going huzzah as the toast to the Vermissian knight who brought them around. And yeah, finally to you, Calixte. You're off to find the Elfir authority in this place.
Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, they happen to have the nicest house in this place. What's it look like?
Surprisingly, for some reason,
Yeah, somehow, I don't know how that happened. What does
it's
that
like
look
they
like?
work. It's like they work for the dominant class or something.
Yeah, even down here where things are weird, they still manage to just get the best. Actually, I'll let you describe. What does that look like? The nicest place in this in this shanty town.
I mean, I think probably unlike like the problem with building stuff from anything down in the heart is that it has a tendency to turn into something else when you're not looking at it. Um so like probably it's actually made from like super expensive like just stone that was imported in from the surface
Yeah.
because it's like this stone will not turn into snakes while you're sleeping.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think there is probably like some sort of charm, some sort of bone charm, just like as acknowledgement, like yeah, no, we're part of this community. Um, I think there is a guard at front, and I think at this point the word is kind of spread that oh, there's a hound here who's waving around a badge. They kind of stand up and give you a salute, and they open the door to. Oh no, they open the door and they announce. Oh no, they ask for your name and like any titles. Like they, she really likes it when visitors are announced first. Do you have a name or titles?
Calixte Abelard, Lord, uh, fervent Thesis's killer, owner of the hairy clam.
They nod. The guard's like, So that's how do you spell fervent? They're writing it down. Actually, that's what they're doing.
Fuckyyou.
Okay. Fuckyyou. Well, I see. There's a bit of a jape being thrown on me. Okay, I get you. Okay. All right. And they open the door and just kind of poke their head in and just say, announcing, Calixte Ballard, killer Lord Fervent Thesis, owner of the hairy ma'am, and you hear like an indistinct voice come in, and they turn to you, the guard, and say, "All right, come in. You've got from the sounds of her lordship or ladyship. You've got 5 minutes." And you walk in, and you don't know what sort of like magic kind of does this, what sort of effect, but you walk in and it feels like you're back in Spire. It feels like you're on a villa that's on the upper parts of Spire. Like you go goes window room, you see the windows, you see like sunlight, you see the sky, and you hear like the call of those sky whales or or other corvid stuff that Elfir use. And in front of you is just this corridor leading towards a door, and the door is open. You can see just in the distance is a figure behind the desk, kind of like just head on their cheek, like looking like they're anticipating a meal. Even though they have a mask, that's what it looks like.
Sit down across from them, throw my kick my legs, kick my non-broken leg up onto the desk. And kind of, I should note, my mood is very muddy and dirty.
Yeah, I think she doesn't mind. I should describe what her mask is. Her mask is sharp. It's like a hawk's mask, but it's like it's made out of like different pieces of triangular glass, and it's kind of shaped in like this cruel beak protrusion as she kind of looks at you. And there's a bit of mud, yeah, goes on her desk, and she kind of delicately takes a handkerchief and kind of like wipes away the dust. And you can tell that her gloves are taloned as well. And she says, with all the practice grace of an Elfir, what took you so long?
What can I say? The people I'm traveling with are less than adequate.
A burden we all must bear. I assume you've been able to compensate.
Sorry, what was that? My phone started ringing.
No worries. She kind of inclines her head, almost like in a bird-like manner, and she says, "A burden we must bear every now and then. I assume you've been able to compensate."
I've managed. So what does our Lord Fervent Thesis have me tramping around down here on an overgrown carcass?
Well, there is the matter of what the witches of Hallow are looking for. But our Lord would prefer that this specific poem fall into his hands rather than the witches or anyone who would want it. What do you know of mimetic viruses, Calixte?
Now does this have anything to do with those fellas that don't talk?
So, out of character, what do you mean by the fellas that don't talk?
Mimes.
Oh, think she titters at that, and she says, "Not quite. A mimetic virus is simply an idea, so potent, so virulent that it has been weaponized to spread. And this particular poem, well, it carries with it quite a dream that our Lord would prefer not be disturbed. It is a dream called revolution."
I figured as much. This wouldn't make your lot happy.
We rarely work for anything beyond our own benefit, Calixte. Surely you must know that by now.
I take a puff on my pipe and say, of course, and what exactly is the pay I'm expecting here for my own benefit?
I think I don't know how you feel her kind of smile. Don't know how you do that, how you feel that, but you do. And um, I think they kind of lean forward and they say, "Our Lord is feeling generous. Tell me, Calixte Abelard, what is it you desire?"
I want my past disappeared.
Easily done. And I think she kind of leans back and kind of like puts her head underneath their hands like this sharp thing, and says, "After all, it's easy enough for one to just be another nobody in this world."
Yeah, and I'm fine kind of ending the scene there.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I was waiting. I want to have you the last line, but if you want, yeah, we can.
Oh
end the
no,
scene there.
that's yeah.
Cool. I know you're not our VP for next week, Steven, but I think I kind of want to. I always kind of do this whenever like someone is only in for like the first session, because so much of it's going to be set up. If you want, we can keep you on for next week. That's
Yeah,
not
I
fine
can
for you.
try dropping in. Of course, I can make next week as well, but it's just a matter of if of you wanting to do that, of course.
Yeah, I think I'm down for that.
Okay.
I'm down for that. We're gonna have Alex next week, but all right, cool. So I always want to try to say this on the record. Thanks very much, mostly for dealing with me having to deal with a new system, but thanks for being awesome. These are some fucking what the hell are these characters? They're great. They're just they're a bundle of joys and a half. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna stop the broadcast and we can do like a bit of a debrief, and then we'll try to keep it short because we're way over. Well, not way over, but still over. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'll stop this broadcast now.